Wahaha! Happy really early Halloween, 21 days away. It's actually 3 weeks away, but it don't matter because this is Dylan Knows on a Friday, prime time. How's everyone doing out there? This is the second week of the month, and it is the Dylan Knows list show with my constant companion, as it were, Gigi Fletcher, who is getting into the spirit of things. Hi, Gigi.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
Awesome. All I got is my pumpkin. I got my pumpkin on. That's about it. But I got to support my boys. My Orioles are playing the ALCS right now.
I saw that. The Yankees didn't even care this year. This year was just the goodbye Jeter tour. It didn't matter what happened.
Well, things might change. Hopefully not, but things might change. You never know. But for those who don't know, Dylan Knows is a weekly video show, the greatest video show of all time, and I'm on episode 56 to prove it. So hey, awesome. But my list show is my second week, and we do all kinds of top 10, top 5, top 6, top 3, top 25, top 1 million that we've ever done. So it's something fun. So it's Halloween month anyway, and I figured last year we did our scary movies, so I figure why not take a look at the monsters this year, doing some top 10 monsters. So hopefully, monsters, villains, whatever you want to, just scary stuff, just stuff that scares you or freaks you out. We're just going to discuss that a little bit. We usually do the show on Sundays at 12:30, but due to scheduling conflicts on both parts, there was really no way we could do it this weekend, so Friday it is. Prime time's not too bad. Might not get as many viewers, but you know what? It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more loose because we know that we still have the whole weekend ahead of us, whereas when we do the show on Sunday, we're like, oh, God, I got to work. Monday's coming up, so I don't want to do it. So it's going to be fun, and I get to drink a little bit more. Nothing I was talking about. Hard cider this time, so yummy.
Fancy, and very fall, right?
It is. It was awesome, actually. Dawn got a fire pit from work. There was like a raffle or something, and a fire pit, and they had all kinds of goodies in there. They got flat marshmallows and chocolate bars and graham crackers. So you make s'mores and all kinds of mugs and hot chocolate and all kinds of stuff. And because we were grown-ups, they got us a 6-pack of the hard cider and a 6-pack of the Sam Adams Oktoberfest, which I had last night when I was on Snark Radio. That was pretty good tasting too.
What an awesome gift basket! Wow. That was just wow, that's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff. Yeah. It's a nice fire pit. I mean, it's not a crappy one. It's actually pretty nice. It's like a piece
of furniture. Have you guys fired it up?
No, because we don't really have a place for it.
A nice piece of furniture. You better not make it a coffee table.
No, the rules are like you can't put it. You have to put it in a well-ventilated area. You can't put it, But see, we have a patio. Yeah. We have the deck, maybe, but a little close to the house. It's a wood deck. I don't know.
Maybe out front. Yeah. But then you have all your neighbors together and want to have what
exactly. Yeah. Boom! Right in the middle of our yard. Boom! Right there. Here you go. Fired up. It's cool is that we actually have somebody else in our neighborhood that has one also. So I see them. They do it in their backyard. So it's not a crazy idea.
Right.
But that's enough about that. This is Dylan Knows List. Fire pit. I should change it to Dylan Knows Fire Pit.
Yes, what's your favorite fire?
Fire pit. But for those who will watch, or hopefully will watch, right now we got nobody watching that we know of, but if you do decide to jump on, we do have the Q&A up, which actually I don't have up, so I probably should do it. There might be somebody who said, hey, I'm here. No, there's not. It's empty. So.
Oh.
But here we go. Top 10 monsters, scary. So, Geri, what's your top 10?
Okay, so my top 10, my number 10, I went with just an old school traditional, because I needed to get somebody traditional on my list, and by old school, well, it's Frankenstein. So he's pretty old school. Because there's so many modern movies and characters and whatnot out there. But I thought about like, Dracula, Frankenstein, all the old guys, the werewolf, and so Frankenstein made my list. As a kid, he was very scary and terrifying to me. And we all sort of know the story of him. There's all sorts of movies and reincarnations of him and different versions of like what happens to him. But for the most part, Victor Frankenstein creates this creature, and the creature is just really this misunderstood guy. He's very ugly. He's got the yellowish skin, the black hair, the bolts in the neck, the white teeth. He's like 8 feet tall, and he's made of like different body parts of different people. Walks very rigidly because of all these different parts having to, talk to each other. And he's misunderstood, and anybody sees him in public, they're terrified of him. Until one day he eventually looks in the mirror and realizes, oh my God, I'm ugly. And the version that, I had seen was he had run into the woods, and then he wanted to get revenge on his creator for making him, because all he wanted was to be loved and have a mate. But because of his ugliness and, his height and strength and he does everything combined, he was just really scary. So, when you think about him now as an adult, really not so scary, but I wanted to have like one throwback character in there. So Frankenstein's my number 10.
Very cool. Most of my stuff are throwback characters. Maybe not, but Frankenstein didn't make my list only because all the points you made is that he's very misunderstood. He is, he's not a bad guy. He's in a bad situation, and it's an actual look at how people perceive us, and they perceive something different. They are afraid of it. They don't like it. So it's scary. I like Frankenstein. I was Frankenstein because I have the height, so I could do it. I got a Frankenstein costume. I got some green face makeup, and I actually won. I did it my first year at my job that I'm at now. We have a Halloween party, and we have a costume contest, and you can win $50. And I won my first year doing it as Frankenstein, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, Frankenstein is usually, when he's not doing in his own movies, he's usually used as kind of the hero. Kind of a good example is the Monster Squad, one of the best movies to watch from Halloween. We talked about it last year,
right.
But Frankenstein befriends the children and helps them defeat the bad monsters, the vampires, the werewolves, stuff like that. So, in that case, Frankenstein is very misunderstood, but yes, he's very menacing. He's got the big look, he's got the strength, and he's got these dead body parts to show. You could technically, I guess, call him maybe the first zombie if you want to. He wasn't brainless. He wasn't brainless. He had a brain, but he didn't really understand how to talk. So it was kind of like that, So kind of like what zombies are. So you could technically call him maybe the first zombie. And he's a big, scary guy. But if you want to check out a great film that shows Frankenstein in a fun light, is Young Frankenstein, obviously, with Mel Brooks. It takes the parody of the Frankenstein movies and kicks it up a notch. So definitely, it's a good choice. He is classic. He still is a classic. Universal is thinking of restarting the classic movie monsters and making them in a universe sort of similar to the Marvel universe. The Dracula movie that came out, I guess, today is the first one in that series, so there might be a Frankenstein one that pops up eventually. So, we'll see. But as I said, it is good. My number 10 is a big guy also, but he's big and hairy. It's Bigfoot.
Oh, yes, he's scary.
Big scary monster. Strong, 8 feet tall, sometimes stinks, smells like death, whatever. But it's a urban legend, not really urban legend, but a legend, a myth that there is a creature between ape and human on the evolutionary scale out in the woods, mostly out in the Pacific Northwest, though Bigfoot has been sighted in every state except for Hawaii, and that might be the only one. I think he's been sighted at least once in every state in the I guess the contiguous United States, as well as Alaska, if you want to look at it that way. But once again, it's one of the easiest ones that people do to fake, hoax people because you just got to get a big gorilla suit and walk around the woods. And sometimes some of the videos we see of Bigfoot in the woods are, you can tell that they're absolutely fake because, why would they be filming empty woods, And then all of a sudden, oh wait, there's a Bigfoot walking in front of us. Now, I believe that there might be something out there, and what makes him scary to me is the fact that he is this hairy monkey creature who's tall and strong and is an animal for all intents and purposes. He might look human, walking like a human, but he's still technically an animal, so he's going to protect his property any way he can, any means necessary, and that means he'll throw rocks at you, which people have said he's done. Right. He will attack you with his teeth and his claws, and he will break you if necessary. It's almost like fighting a bear for the most part, He's about as big as a bear, about as heavy as a bear, so it would be like taking on a bear, but just happens that it's a like-looking creature, and that's what freaks out people a lot more is the fact. So it is a legendary monster that people have witnessed it out in reality, whereas Frankenstein is a work of fiction. And technically, you could probably say Bigfoot is fictional also, but there are people who truly believe that there is something out in the woods. And he's also been seen all over the world. He's been under different names: Abominable Snowman, Ogopogo is something else.
Yeti.
Yeti, Yowie, which I think is what he's known in Australia. Skunk Ape, which is another version of it. So there's so many
something because, like you said, sightings all over the world. It's sort of, it's maybe something that just didn't evolve and sort of just stay put. And I don't know.
You don't know. I mean, you don't know. But I mean, he has been used as a villain, creature, enemy in movies and in books, and so that's how he fits into it. So he could, and he's always perceived usually as a monster, with the exception of maybe Harry and the Hendersons, which actually shows Bigfoot more in a cuddly, lovable, E.T.-esque light. But Bigfoot is my number 10 on my monster list.
Okay, well, my number 9 is a little bit more pop culture, and it's from a movie that had, I think, four movies. It was from Scream, and that is Ghostface. Now, Ghostface is basically just a Halloween mask that's based on Edvard Munch's The Scream. And the movie takes place in Woodborough, and basically in that world, this costume is just very common and easy to get. So Ghostface is a killer, but the problem is because anyone can go to the Halloween store there and pick the costume up, you're always guessing as to who is committing these murders. And his MO is to call you and threaten you and stalk you until he murders you. So, and then, he taunts you, and he also has this 8-inch hunting knife that he uses to stab everybody. And the reason why I put him on the list is just because I really love those movies. The horror genre was sort of getting tired and sort of needed to get, a breath, just get a new breath of fresh air, so to speak. And the fact that it incorporates horror with humor and it's able to laugh at itself and make fun of the whole genre sort of like brought everybody back into it, and I really like that. And just the character itself, very scary. I mean, the scary movies, now that the scary movies are out, it sort of ruined Ghostface, but pre-scary movies, when the movie first came out, it was just really awesome to see it in the theater, in the dark. You knew he was somewhere in the house or in the vicinity of where this person was talking to him, and you couldn't find him. And it was terrifying. It was really just a really clever use of this new unique character, I think. And I don't want to get into the story, because what was also cool, especially the first one, all the way up until the end, it kept you guessing as to who the killer was. So I don't even want to get into the story in case anyone hasn't seen it, because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I just thought it was really cool.
No, I agree, and that's exactly the reason why I love the Scream movies also, is because in the horror genre at the time, you knew who the villain was. Freddy, Jason, Mike Myers, right. Leatherface. They had specific names. There was nothing. There was no mystery about them. You knew exactly who they were. When Scream came on, it used the formula of the horror film, but at the same time added a thriller slash mystery to it because you had no idea who the killer was. And, you know, in that way, that's what made it fun to watch because then you're sitting there saying, okay, you're trying to watch for clues. It's like, you know, who he's acting weird, she's acting weird, she said something that only the killer would know. Maybe she's the killer then, or wait, he's doing, or maybe it's the hero. Maybe he is having a psychotic break and she's actually doing this to herself. You don't know. And then that's where at the end they have the big reveal who the killer is. And it's like, oh yeah, and then they sort of flashes back to show you, okay, this is how it worked, how we did it, and so how they did it, and how he she it whatever did it, and it's great, and it's fantastic, and it itself was such a game changer in cinema that it itself spiraled off a bunch of imitation movies and brought horror back to, it was like the late 90s into the beginning of the 21st century. So it was definitely a breath of fresh air. I remember going to the movie theater and seeing it. I saw I saw three. I didn't see 4 in the movie theater, and I don't think I've actually seen 4 yet. But I saw the first 3 in the movie theaters because they were all ones I wanted to see. And you know, you also got to know the characters and they had the recurring characters, whereas in a lot of the other scary movies, the characters might have recurred once or twice, but then they either eventually got killed off or they just left. So to see, you know, Sidney, played by Neve Campbell, going through all 4 of the films is a brilliant idea. So yeah, that's actually it's a really good. It is really good, and it did bring about sort of this new age of horror at the turn of the century, and so congrats to Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven for doing that. I mean, and you got Wes Craven doing it. I mean, he's phenomenal. I mean, the guy who did Nightmare on Elm Street is doing these films, so you know, and his little touch, you know, he's one of the best horror directors out there. So.
It makes me laugh to think about because I don't know if you saw the scary movies, but I just keep thinking of Doofy, and I just start laughing. I just start laughing at Doofy. Sorry.
Yeah, the Wayans sort of screwed it. Oh yeah, they sort of screwed it up a little bit for us. But yeah, I saw the first 2 scary movies, and then I think I saw all of them because I saw the first 2 I think, and then when they shifted. I think it was 4 and 5 when they shifted to the different the more of the, you know, making fun of M. Night Shyamalan and stuff like that. So interesting. So my number 9 is something that just popped up on Wednesday: clowns.
Oh.
Clowns are scary for a lot of people.
Yes, they
Jen
are.
Hallmeyer, AJ. I'm not afraid of clowns. But there's just something about a clown. You know, I mean, the fact that John Wayne Gacy, I think that was John Wayne Gacy, was the serial killer who dressed up as a clown and stalked his victims and killed them. As this killer clown, you know, and that's might be where one of the aspects of the fear of clowns came, and then Stephen King goes and bashes you over the head with it in It, with Pennywise the dancing clown, who I absolutely love. He's a fantastic character,
Terrifying.
but he's terrifying, and he is a clown, and at the same time he's a clown. And then in the newest American Horror Story, the Freak Show thing, the main bad guy is a clown.
Ooh, yeah, I haven't watched the first episode yet, but yeah, I'm definitely, I forgot, but yeah, I can't wait for the preview. When you see, I mean, do they show him in the first episode?
I think they do. I didn't watch it. But I saw what you saw also. But I think.
Come back, Dylan.
Okay, that was weird.
Yeah, you just like flashed away.
Hello.
So, but I was still on, so I waited for you. Can you hear me? Hello?
I can't hear you, Geri.
Oh.
Can't hear you.
Huh. Did I go off and come back on?
Weird. Oh, we're gonna do this again. I'm gonna.
You're gonna do it again? Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna close this out. I don't know who they can hear, but Dylan, where is he?